Hello, I am Robin from the University of Houston. It's my pleasure to present part of our ongoing work towards demystifying dimensions of source code embeddings. Source code representations are key in applying machine learning techniques for processing and analyzing programs. A popular approach in representing source code is neural embeddings that represent programs with high-dimensional vectors computed by training deep neural networks on a large volume of programs. Although successful, there is little known about the contents of these vectors and their characteristics. In this paper, we aim to better understand the contents of code-to-pack neural source code embeddings. In particular, we analyze the embedding values of code-to-pack in most frequent methods and comparing them with understandable handcrafted features. Our results suggest that the handcrafted features can perform very close to the highly dimensional code-to-pack embeddings. This paper makes the following contributions: analysis of the code-to-pack source code embeddings in most frequent methods, compare the performance of handcrafted features with code-to-pack embeddings. The code-to-pack embedding model uses bag of path in the abstract syntax tree of programs to represent the programs. The model encodes AST path between leaf nodes and uses attention mechanism to compute a weighted average of the path vectors in order to produce a single code vector of 384 dimensions for each program. The code-to-pack was initially introduced to predict the method name prediction given the body of the method. Figure 1 shows an example of this task wherein a neural model based on code-to-pack correctly predicts the name of the method swap with more than 95% prediction score. To evaluate the code-to-pack code representation, we follow this workflow. We first select a few most frequent methods in which we are interested in analysis of the representation. We then manually select features from the methods that best can predict their names. Next, we create binary classifier for predicting the name of those methods with code-to-pack embeddings and handcrafted features. Finally, we evaluate and compare the performance of the trained classification model. In the rest of the section, we will discuss dataset and selection of method, feature extraction, classifier creation, evaluation metrics, and results. We use state-of-the-art Java large dataset that comes with train, validation, and test partition. It contains around 10k Java projects with 16 million methods. We observed that only 3.5 million methods are unique and relatively few method names appear frequently in the dataset, while the rest of the method names appear rarely in the dataset. As we need a scalable manual inspection and analysis of the method's name, we choose 10 most frequent methods in the Java large dataset. And for each method M, we create a train set by randomly selecting 1k negative examples of method name M and 1k negative examples of other method name but not M. For validation set and test set, we select all positive examples and the same number of randomly selected negative examples respectively. And we create a top 10 Java large dataset that contains the top 10 most frequent methods. Then for each method, we do our best effort to find discriminant features by inspecting the training dataset. The table shows the handcrafted features for each method. In total, we have 33 method-only features for these top 10 methods. Another important metric of interest might be adding code complexity feature. The intuition is that similar method may have similar patterns such as the number of lines or variable or conditional. Therefore, we further extend the handcrafted feature with an additional 14 code complexity features such as line of code, basic block, number of loop or try case or thread or condition. To extract the handcrafted feature, we use the Java parse tool to parse the method in dataset and extract the handcrafted feature. We consider the 33 method-only handcrafted features as binary vectors and numerical vectors separately. For the binary vector, we use on and 0 to denote the presence or absence of individual feature in a method, and for the numeric vectors, we count the number of occurrence of features in a method, and in the end we normalize them. The 14 complexity features are always considered as numeric values. As a result, we get 4 different combination of handcrafted features. For example, the 33 method only handcrafted features as binary vectors and then as numeric vectors. And also we include 14 complexity feature as numeric vectors with the 33 method only handcrafted features as numeric vectors, and then 33 method only handcrafted features as by a normalized count and with the numeric vectors of the 40 complexity feature. So this is the 4 different choice of the handcrafted features. And we also extract the 2 baseline vectors such as character to sequence and token sequence, and on state of the art feature vectors such as code to vec. The character to sec is a sequence of ASCII character represented by its index in a character-based vocabulary, and token sequence is a sequence of Java tokens represented by its index in a token-based vocabulary. And for code to vec, we save the code to vec embeddings, that is a code vector of 384 dimension from code to vec model for each program. For each method, we train a binary classifier on the corresponding dataset to recognize whether a given program is a particular method or not. For sequence-based baseline representation, we train the commonly used bidirectional two-layer GRO model as binary classifier, and for handcrafted features and code-to-vec features, we simply use the binary SBM classifier. We use the C implemented SBM Lite for SBM and PyTorch for GRU. Finally, each classifier is trained on the corresponding training set, tuned on the validation set, and later evaluated on a separate test set. We use the accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score as evaluation metrics that will show the average result of the top 10 dataset for different feature vectors. In the next few following slides, we will discuss the details of this result with plots. At first, we compare the binary vectors and numeric vectors on method name, method only features and method plus complexity feature to check how the choice of presence or number of occurrence influence the quality of handcrafted features. According to features, in most of the cases except for run, the binary vectors comparatively better than the numeric vectors. So the observation is that the presence of a feature can be used to recognize a method instead of counting the number of occurrences of that feature in programs. On average, the choice of binary vector has increased the F1 score up to 1% than the numeric vectors. Secondly, we compare the method only features and method plus complexity features on binary vectors and numeric vectors to check the importance of complexity features on the quality of handcrafted features. According to the feature, in most of the cases, the method plus complexity feature has the show the comparatively better result than the method only feature. The code complexity feature can be useful to better recognize a method along with the method only feature. On average, adding the code complexity features have increased the F1 score up to 2.2% than the method only feature. In this section, we compare our handcrafted feature against the two baseline sequence-based representation and on path-based embedding of code to vec. According to figures for all methods, the SBM handcrafted outperforms both the GRU and GRU based character sequence and token sequence by a large margin for predicting method name. Although the SBM code to vec performance better than the SBM handcrafted, but the difference is not always significant. When the F1 score of code to vec is near perfect, for example, equals on create and hash code. They both perform very well, and similarly when the performance are very close, even when for some method like run, init, and execute, where both relatively perform worse. So the average F1 score also shows that the SBM code to back obtain around only 3% improvement over the SBM handcrafted. The handcrafted feature with a very small feature set can achieve highly comparable result to the higher dimensional embedding of deep neural models such as code to back. We also use the information gain and create new SBM model by using features with top 25% information gain. We observe that the handcrafted features suffer a higher loss of performance than the code to back embedding for removing feature. Compared to the handcrafted feature, the information gain are more evenly distributed in the code to back embeddings. Moreover, the code to back embeddings are more resilient to the removal of dimension with low information gain than the handcrafted feature. To better understand how the feature separate the positive and negative example in the dataset, we use the Disney plot to project the feature vector in code-to-back embeddings and handcrafted features into two-dimensional space. Here we only visualize the equal method, the best performing classifier. The figure indicates that the data points are generally well grouped, where the positive points are quite distinct from the negative points. The red point indicating the negative examples and the green point indicating the positive examples. The data points from a cluster of positive points in the middle in the figure A, and in figure B and figure C is almost linearly separable, and all shows a good measure of separability as the F1 score is near perfect. Finally, in this work, we describe our preliminary study to demystify the source code embeddings through a comparison of code-to-back embeddings with the handcrafted feature. Our implementation code is available in the following GitHub link, and we hope understanding the source code embedding can provide methodologies to objectively compare different representation and would enable researchers to optimize neural models. Thank you.